Continue our coverage of what could lead to the Supreme Court overturning landmark legislation. A draft published to Politico claims to show the Supreme Court may strike down Roe v. Wade.
Of course, this is not final, as SCOTUS has not yet released their final decision. That's not expected until June. But we're hearing reactions from a number of people. We're joined now live by Mary Rose Short. She's the Director of Outreach with California Right to Life. Mary, good morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Let's first of all get your reaction to hearing about this draft opinion that may have been a draft opinion that was released overnight.
I think it's obviously very encouraging for those of us who have been fighting back against abortion violence. It's very encouraging to see in the opinion, just it's so clearly laid out that the right to abortion violence has never been in the Constitution. And I would encourage everyone, even though, especially those who disagree, to read even just the first few pages of the decision to see how clearly it's laid out that that's not a constitutional right. Abortion is not a constitutional right, never has been, was pulled out of thin air. But yeah, it's very encouraging to see. I hope that there is a majority that will bring that decision to be the final ruling.
Now, we just spoke with a McGeorge School of Law professor about what it could mean for California if Roe v. Wade were to be struck down, which is, of course, on the national level. In California, though, abortions would likely continue with the laws that we have in place. So what would the the California Right to Life group be doing if Roe v. Wade were struck down in California? Because obviously your work wouldn't be done yet.
Absolutely not. In fact, our legislature and governor are currently working to make California an abortion sanctuary, something where abortion is placed as of higher value than carrying a child to term, of higher value than any other medical care, making abortion free for anyone from in California or coming from out of state. While people still have to pay for their own insulin, people still have to pay to carry a child to term. California is working on making delivering your child dead a priority over bringing your child to term. So our work in California would obviously continue to educate people about abortion, what abortion is, and then hopefully, as we see in other states, that being abortion free doesn't harm women, doesn't harm families, is actually good for the communities in other states. Perhaps we can bring a little sanity to our laws in California.
So, Mary, I want to ask you this question, and we asked the same question of the professor. Again, when you talk about overturning legislation that has, of course, guaranteed this right to abortion on the federal level, then it's kind of up to each state to come up with their own laws. How do you think it's going to impact health care? Do you think there will be more women seeking to have abortions on their own? Do you think there will be an increased number of deaths? How do you foresee it kind of shaping health care should this be the final decision by the High Court?
There's actually, it's interesting that you should say that, because even before this decision came out, the abortion industry and abortion cheerleaders had been pushing the idea of self-managed abortion, encouraging women to do abortions on their own, and saying that self-managed abortion, self-induced abortion, do-it-yourself abortion is perfectly safe, which we don't know if that's true. They don't know if it's true. But they've spent decades claiming that if abortion is made illegal and women have to go to so-called back alley abortions, they will die. That's true that they've made that argument, but there's no evidence for that either. They've just been seeing the writing on the wall and realizing if abortions become illegal, we have to make sure that women keep having abortions. We are the abortion industry. We're concerned about abortion, not necessarily whether it's legal or illegal, or if it's safe or unsafe. And so there's no evidence for any of these things. If you look at their own studies for how safe it is, they just fudge all the numbers. Obviously we don't want women to die, but there's no evidence that it will happen.
Mary Rose Short, the Director of Outreach with California Right to Life. Thank you for taking the time this morning. We know we got in contact with you very last minute, so thank you for making your time available to us. We appreciate it.